Philip here. Today I shall be turning this nice piece of spalted beech, and shock horror to some, I will be using some colour on spalted beech. So I'm going to make it into a bowl, and I've recently got some new stains. So these are colour tone stains, and these are used in the making of electric guitars. Well, one of the purposes is making electric guitars, and I bought this from a shop in America, and I'm going to try using this along with a high gloss finish to give the electric guitar sort of finish, hopefully. So stay tuned while I combine these two, and then we'll see what effect we can get. Okay, so that's the shape that I'm looking for, and I'm going to sand that down now and sand it to probably 320, possibly 400. When I'm using colour, I've found that if there are any marks or sanding marks or turning marks on there, they really stand out when there's colour applied. So I need a really good finish on here. Beech often finishes quite nicely, I find. Apart from in some of the spalted areas, there's a few bits here that will take a bit of sanding down, and I'm going to be colouring all of the piece right at the end, so I'm going to sand this down now. So I've sanded this up to 400 and then Yorkshire grit applied, and already that's got a great finish. I'm just hoping the colours are going to work on here, because it would be a shame to lose these markings, but I think the way that we're going to be applying the colours, these markings will actually still be visible, but so far very pleased with how that has turned out. Okay, so slight change in plan. I'm going to colour this first, and then I will be putting the final gloss finish on right at the end after I've turned and coloured the inside as well. So it's just a bit easier to get around here while we're doing some colour. So what I've got are two of these. We've got blue and green. I'm going to try and do a combination of those colours, and some cellulose thinners to thin it down. These are really deep colours, and they take a lot of thinning down. They do go a long way from what I've been told. So I've already had a little bit of blue in there, there's the colour. Just trying to get this so it's an equal-ish measure of colour. So that's some green. And there's a different pipette so we don't mix the colours. And that's some blue in there. Give that a mix up, and we shall see what sort of colour that has come out at. So possibly want a slightly lighter colour in there. So thin it slightly. And then here goes the moment of truth. So see, these stains don't mask the wood as much as the spirit stains that I've used previously from chestnut. They do still show the markings through, which is why I'm trying to use them, and so hopefully they will still show the beauty of the grain of the wood and just add that extra depth of colour. Now the colour looks quite matte when it's applied, but once the finish is on, whichever way you want to finish, either with shellac or polish or whatever, then the colour will then pop out. Now I will be using a gloss. Not sure which gloss I'm going to be using as yet. There's plenty to choose from. I made a piece the other day and I used this, which plastic coat sealer gloss, and it seemed to do the trick. So I was quite pleased with the way that it came out. So hoping this piece does the same, but you can hopefully still see that the grain is still visible. It's a little bit greener than I was expecting over here, and a darker bit of wood, but here is more of the, I was looking for a turquoise colour, and that's quite good there, quite pleased with that. So keeping the base as just wood, clear wood, without any colour on. But I do like that. Hopefully you can see that. If I get a little bit more light on there, you can see how the colour is coming through in certain areas. Really like this here, a bit dark around here. It's good to have a bit of a mix. So what I'll be doing is sanding down some areas and then applying some more colour just to give a bit of a depth, and I'll be doing a few bits of that. So double O, double O. So just following the grain round so that when I apply more of the colour in that area, it will stand out a little more. And I am liking this turquoise colour there, that's really nice. That's more of the colour that I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit more just straight blue in certain areas, and this is just straight from the pot, so it will be quite strong. So I'll see how that looks. Just to highlight certain areas. blend that in a little. And then a touch of the green. Now this is bright green. And then back to the mixture, turquoisey solid colour. Yeah, that's good there. It's dark around this side. Obviously the colour and pattern of the wood really impacts these stains. You can see patterns still showing through there, and some lovely colouring there. I mean, it's quite flat at the moment, and the gloss finish hopefully will make some more of those colours pop out. I'll put a little bit more of this. And there. And again, I'm going to just rub down in a couple of areas and apply some more colour in different patches. So again, it's very fast drying, this, but I'd leave it a good few hours before putting any finish on. I think the turquoise colour again. So this is just making it up as we go along, really. It's just building up. depth of colour, and the grain of the wood is just making that pattern really stand out, and the colours in certain areas are lighter than others, which I think hopefully is going to give it a good effect once we've got that final finish on. I do like the colouring around this area, a bit lighter wood. Touch more here, and then we're not going to be far off where I'd like it to be. It's quite dark. I think next time I might try and add some white in there to give it slightly lighter colour, but I think that will stand out, hopefully. Clear off a couple of little marks that I've missed. Yeah. Just taking that marking off there with some thinners. Just doing it this way so it still shows the wood effect on there. So someone picking up the piece can still see that it is wood. Hopefully they'll realise that anyway, but so hopefully not too dark. So you can see hopefully better colour in there that will stand out more once we've got some gloss finish applied. So that's that section of the piece done. I'm going to turn it over, hollow out the bowl, and we're going to be colouring the inside of the bowl as well. So just before I turn the inside, just to do a close-up of the colouring that we've got on there. Hopefully you can see some of the markings still. My favourite section is that there. Okay, so I've sanded this piece to 400 and used Yorkshire grit. It's come up really nice. There were a few marks in there that I had to go back to 80. I normally start at 180. There were a few marks in there that would have really stood out when the stain is on. So I went back to 80 and that's done the trick. So really pleased with the effect there. So we now need to get some stain on. So I'm going to ponder for a moment to decide on colour choice, and I shall be back with the stains. Okay, so decided on some colours. We will be having some yellow and a small amount of the turquoise here to blend in, and just going to put some on and see where we go with it. I'm going to put some undiluted yellow on initially, and you can see these still show the lovely grain and the spalting on there. So I'm going to put yellow on as a top coat, so that as a base coat rather, so that when I blend the colours in, it's hopefully going to work better. So that's a first coat of yellow. I'm going to go back to the pre-mixed turquoise that I've used to blend in from the outside in, so it's not a straight contrast. It's hopefully we'll see how this works. I've never done it before, so I'm gonna put some colour around the edge. Yeah, I don't want too much. I do want a good bit of yellow in there. I know I could probably do this with an airbrush, but my airbrush skills need a lot of practice, so I won't be at the moment until I get some time to practice those skills. So I've gone a bit further down than I actually want in there. I do want more yellow, so I'll take this back a bit. Go back to the yellow. I think I need to buy shares in kitchen roll. The amount of kitchen roll you go through turning. So I'm just blending these colours in. As you can see, it's mixing on the kitchen towel. I just want more yellow in here. Just rubbing slightly where there's some obvious marks of the green, just to get it blended in more so it looks more natural. And a small amount of yellow around the rim just to accent that. Off some excess around there. So building up the colours. So a lot of the green that I put on there has gone, which is what I was wanting, just an accent of the green in there. I'm just going to go over slightly around the rim, a little bit. As I say, this would be easier probably with an airbrush, but I'm just going to put a little more around here. Go back to blending that in. Okay. Now obviously these colours are going to appear different depending on the type of wood you use. I will be doing a couple of pieces using some ash that I've got. I think the ash will take the colour really well. Hoping that these colours come out nicely once we've got the gloss finish. It is expected that they do go on quite flat, and it's the finish that that brings them out. Okay, nearly there I think. Go around the edge on here slightly where we've rubbed off. I think we have potential, but the proof will be once we have that finish on. So, I'll just show you where we are at the moment. So I'm going to let that the stains dry, and then I shall put on some sealer. Now I'm trying a new sealer at the moment. Now I've seen somebody else using this, so I'm going to be giving it a go. Zinza Seal Coat. Now I don't think it's very easy to come by in the UK, but I thought I'd give it a go. We shall see. So I'm going to put some of that on, let that dry, and then go on to a gloss finish. So undecided on the gloss finish as yet. I've got a few different options to try, so I shall catch up with you shortly. Okay, so I've put some sanding sealer on and let that dry, and this is the state of play at the moment. So I'm going to rub that back with double O, and then I'm going to put some finish on. Now the finish that I've seen is this Minwax Wipe On Poly, which has cost a fortune. I just want to give it a go. This is, as it says, wipe on, so not spray, and potentially going to take quite a few coats of that, with a few coats building up, then sanding, and then some more coats. It's going to probably take a couple of days to do, so you're going to leave it to dry obviously before you put the next coat on. So I shall keep you updated. Okay, so I've finished the piece now, and I started using Wipe On Poly. Didn't get on with it really. It takes forever to dry, needs lots of coats, and when you're in a small workshop it just takes up the whole of your shop. You can't do anything else while it's drying, so it's struggling a little bit with it. So what I did, moved on to this spray plastic coat. It's a clear gloss sealer, and then finish with some burnishing cream. So the piece that I've ended up with is this, which, as you can see, has a high gloss, and if I show you, you can still see the wood grain, and the spalting, and on the inside we've got a yellow with a green tinge there. So quite pleased with the finish on that. Still some work to do to perfect the finish, but not a bad little piece. So I think I'm going to give up on the wipe on poly, and this seems to be more my style really. I have a patience for using wipe on poly. Waiting 3-4 hours in between coats is just non-existent. This is a 20 minutes before I put another coat on really. Even in a cold workshop it dried quite quickly. So there you go, a coloured spalted beech bowl. So thank you for watching, hopefully you've enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe.